Okay, great. So, sure, it is your turn.
Yeah, I'll go. I'm gonna say when it rains. I'm gonna choose Veil Falls Short because I want to know early on what's going on with this.
Cool.
So when it rains, the rivers rise and flood out into the land and into the marshes. Everyone knows that birds love rain. So the Heron family follows a tradition of going out into the rain. There are these special flowers that bloom that we bring back to the house to make tea.
Awesome.
But they're kind of hard to find. So you have to kind of wade through the reeds and the thick grass and like avoid the crocodiles. It has just begun to rain. It's a beautiful summer afternoon. And so the clouds roll in and it gets dark. And we all go out to look for these flowers in our house. So I guess Vale and Zeal will come. Nice. And then maybe Chase. This could be a memory, I guess.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Like, even though your character's not with us, Chase, you can also like chime in from the perspective of you're still very much a character in the story, and also we're all free to like offer little details or suggestions about things we think might be going on. So
yeah, I'll probably insert a little something, memory at some point.
Yeah. And I think that Azure is like very good at finding these flowers. And I think the reason they're weird is because they were born with a mutation that only happens in the family like once every few generations. Oh. That's like these weird heron eyes.
Oh,
they have like these like yellow eyes with black pupils that can kind of like spot these pseudo magical flowers.
Nice. That's super cool. Are we on like kind of like a flat kind of like river skiff? Like a poled river skiff, or are we waiting?
We are waiting. So okay, cool. It's like we're soaked probably.
Yeah, totally. Do we have special clothes that we wear for this? Like are we wearing like special boots, or are we just you actually strip down because you're gonna get wet?
Oh, I think we probably have special boots that are made from like the reeds or something.
And they kind of maybe distribute your weight a little bit so you don't sink down.
Yeah, and some big like baskets that were made wasn't Chase's parent like a basket weaver or something?
Yeah,
Rata.
Totally.
Yeah,
Rata, that's right.
It's some of Rata's baskets.
Nice. Awesome. So we're like waiting. I'm just like kind of following you around. It's kind of like like an Easter egg hunt, like when you're following somebody that's better than you at Easter egg hunts, where like instead of me like looking by myself, I just keep following you, and then but you've already gathered all the flowers by the time we like find a new patch. I don't know, Azure. I'm not getting any flowers.
Okay, just look a little bit harder. I think that there's two over there to your left.
Oh, and I'm like, oh, and I like kind of go splash through there, and I have like a little bone handle, a little fishbone knife that I cut them both and plop them in my basket. And they make this kind of like plink plink sound as they're like the only two flowers in my basket right now, and like your basket's already like half full.
Yes. Where do you fall short here? Are you just unable to see the flowers or find them? Like, do you suck at this?
Yeah, well, I mean, that is, I'm not sure. It could be something that develops later in the scene, or maybe that is it,
So unless you have something you want to add into the present, I want to like
please, yeah,
do a parallel kind of thing in the past. That's what. So you kind of see this scene where you're pointing it out and Vale's finding stuff, right? And I think we remember back, we see like this moment, which is very, very similar, but like 15 years ago, I guess, right? It's where Azure's much younger. Vale was just born, I think, maybe still like a little baby. But even babies go out kind of for these, I think, even though it's
strapped on Azure's chest.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, like I'm like holding. We see like me kind of holding the two flowers, and then it's like also it's baby me holding two flowers in my little hands, but I'm strapped to your chest.
Oh, I was it's so interesting. Yeah, I was going to take it a little somewhere different. That I want to try.
Yeah, please go for it.
I think we don't find anything, and this is the first time that Chase and Azure, when they've gone out, and Chase I'm kind of seeing as someone who like doesn't quite like look a lot like the rest of the people in Rivertown, and Esther going out with Vale for the very first time, I think she's kind of conspiratorially to Asher's like, we have to find something, right? If we don't find anything, know what they're going to say.
They're going to say it anyway. What difference does it make?
What they say is important, and not for you and me, but for Vale.
Well, I'm sure Vale will grow up just as strong as I am and, not pay any heed to the mean words that come out of the rest of our family.
You're very strong. I just hope Vale can deal with it the same way that you did.
Yeah, I think Vale can. Look, he's already a really good gripper and is like, I don't know, holding onto a finger or something.
Yeah. And maybe we find one, right? Maybe we find like one in that moment and we give it to Vale. Vale's just like touching it. Just don't crush it. That's our only one. No, don't eat it. It's ruined.
No, we eat it later.
Yeah. We found one, and you completely mangled it, Vale. We're gonna have to stay out for another, we have to find some more. But trust me, Edgar, it's gonna be a real bad start to Vale's if we don't find anything on our first trip out.
Okay, I'll look harder. And is patting Vale's back and bouncing to get him to shut up.
Do you think we actually find anything this time? Does the hard work pay off? I'm not sure.
I think no. I think we fail. I think we look around all afternoon, but we come back empty-handed and forlorn.
And the rumors about Vale start to brew in Rivertown.
Yes.
Cool. All right. So that'll be seen on that one.
So back in the present moment, we're there gathering flowers with Azure, and you're continuing to kind of spot them out for us and go and get them. And I think what happens, you spot this really big patch and you're like, oh, go get those ones over there. And then you kind of leave me to go do some other things. And you come back and so we're in this flooded riverbank. So I'm imagining there's this kind of tree that's fallen over that's kind of above the water level. And I'm just sitting there and I've kind of kicked my boots off to air them out because my feet were getting kind of wrinkly and I'm just whittling something with my little fishbone knife. I look at you and everyone else has been working really hard and I'm just kind of sitting here whittling when you catch up to me. And I think you and Zeal maybe have gathered, a ton of flowers and you just kind of see my empty basket. I think I've even forgotten my basket's kind of tipped over and there's a couple flowers in there that are just sitting in the water now.
I think Azure sits down next to you and says, "Hey there, don't give up yet. You found 2 really good ones."
I don't know. I don't have it. I can't see things like you can.
Yeah, well, no one can see things like I can, so that's not that unusual.
Yeah, I'm not good at this.
You're just letting the rumors get to you. I mean, people are gonna say whatever they're gonna say. You don't have to listen to them.
I'm wondering what the rumor is. Is the rumor that I'm not actually a Heron, or I'm not actually your kid?
Yeah, but maybe that you're not a Heron.
Maybe I got teased at being a foundling because I was so bad at things that Heron people are traditionally good at, which is maybe part of why it really kind of gets to me that my brother, who actually is a foundling, is so accepted because they're so badass and everything.
Yeah. What does Zeal say in this situation?
Yeah, I think Zeal is just super focused, and it's one of those people that is just really gonna try to win the whole flower thing.
You notice a couple flowers right next to me that I haven't noticed. You're
right.
Right there.
Oh, you move over a little bit. There you
What?
go.
Oh, see?
I was sitting on it.
Zeal's not gonna rub it in because you'll torture yourself way better than I can.
Well, I still think that you have a great capacity to learn to find these flowers if you really apply yourself to looking for them.
You're right.
But
I'll try harder.
But in the meantime, why don't you take half of mine? We're a family. We should share.
Yeah, okay. All right, I'll do that. Thank you.
Yeah, Azure puts them in your basket.
I don't know. I feel a little guilty because on one hand, my parent is like giving half of their bounty to me. So like when I come back to the village, I don't have to come back empty basketed. Coming back with an empty basket is like something that's really like looked down upon.
Yeah, like what you have to contribute to, like everyone contributes something. Yeah.
And I think like the teasing is enough of something that I want to avoid that I'm actually like really thankful for that. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, thank you. Hey, Seal, you won't tell anybody, right? Right? Like punch you in the shoulder.
No. Okay. Why does Neil get flowers? I don't get flowers.
Because you found way more than him. You should actually give him some too.
I am a Republican now. No, I'm just kidding. Zeal sort of like grabs in his basket and like keeps like taking handfuls until it's like a small enough handful that like, and then it just sort of like tentatively puts it in Vale's basket. You can see that it like pains him a lot.
Thank you so much, Seal.
Okay, whatever.
You're very generous.
Good. Now let's go make some tea. I guess that's the end of the scene.
Very cool. That's really sweet.
Yeah, I kind of see Chase as being someone, because they came to Rivertown when they were very young, who's just like, was very hyper conscious about this, like, fitting in and being accepted things too. I think that's where probably a lot of the protection things came with Azure too.
Cool. Ooh, that makes your hair look really good. You got this like kind of pompadour.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah,
very cowboy bebop.
Thank you. Yeah, figuring out how to make this headphone work with my hair is an ongoing battle. So let's do with bitter greens. I'll say this is before Vale and Zeal are around. And I think with bitter greens is I think what we do with those flowers that are gathered, right? I think the blooms are used for like medicine, for grounding up, and and also decoration. Maybe like some of the weeding incorporates like pieces of petals, things like that. But the stems are made into this like big salad, very important part of the like a harvest celebration or something like that, right? Where there's this very distinct, like really, really bitter, almost unpleasant salad. Maybe Azure, Corin, and Chase are all at Grant's house, at Corin's house, and every family is expected to like make a small like salad with like what they were able to gather. And I'd like to explore kind of like the protection angle a little bit. So I'm thinking about the best way to do that. What kind of things do you think the town's kids do to Corin's house? Because it sounds like not only Azure, but Corin also is in this like kind of more weirder space, right? So it seems like the entire house might be like subject to some amount of teasing or ostracization or something like that. What do you think, Azure? Is it like more outside of town? Is it like in town? Do people come around it?
Maybe Corin's house is like one of the ones that's like up on stilts in the marsh, like along the river. I don't know why they're outsiders though. I guess Corin's a weaver and a dreamer. Maybe Corin is like eats mushrooms or something and is some kind of like stage storyteller and is always kind of like a little weird, like saying weird things, like because they're like half in dreams, you know, and like half in reality. And so like Corin's kind of this weird sage, and so like, you know, and then Azure has these strange eyes. So like they just have to deal with like that kind of persecution maybe.
And do you think that kids come by to like tease or to yell or anything like that?
Yeah, I don't know what they would do.
Kids are terrible, but kids can do a lot of stuff.
I know. I'm trying to think of something that's like bad but not horrible.
I mean, certainly they can throw stuff at the house. They can like yell stuff at the house. Like things that just seems like pointless, like needlessly cruel to us, like are probably things that kids just do without even thinking too. like mimic how they imagine like Corn and Asher interact in the house, just like outside amongst themselves, like just to tease and be cool.
Yes, that sounds good.
Do you think that's
Well, maybe they like spy in the windows sometimes because there's like some rumor that, you know, like Corin can like turn into a bird, is actually a bird or something like that, and puts on a human suit when they walk out the door, and so they're trying to like get proof.
I was imagining them like mimicking, like being like a bird, like
Like leaving piles of bird seed.
Yeah, totally. They throw bird seed at the house.
Oh my God.
They throw bird seed. They like come with nets, I think, because you know, they want to try to capture Corin while Corin's coming back at like during the day.
That's good.
And yeah, so they're out, and it's like a day where they're doing this a lot. Chase is there because she knows that this is going to be happening, and as the kids are gathering around, and she's helping Azure chop the greens, I'm gonna say something. It's been going on too long. If we let them keep doing this is going to go on for the entire day, if not week.
It's fine. They do it all the time.
They do it all the time, but they stop when you push back hard enough, right? We can't just let them keep going. We can't let them break us.
I guess you're right. I don't want them to be any more afraid of me than they already are.
They don't have to be afraid of you. They can be afraid of me a little bit too. I've been practicing. I think she's like wearing like the cloak she normally does. She like opens it a little bit, and there's like a bat inside.
A bat?
Like, yeah, like a bat. Like she has like a stick that she's been like
like a real bat.
No, she's like, I've yelled at them before and they always come back. But I think if I hit one of them hard enough, I don't think that they will come back.
Oh, no, you can't hit them.
I think it'll help. I'm gonna just hit one of them. I'm gonna hit Johnny.
No, this goes against everything Tenziel has been teaching me. We have to be patient with people and teach them how to heal their bad behavior, not like go out and punch them.
But just one of them. I'm not gonna hit all of them.
Azure frowns.
After this, we'll do it your way. But today, let's do it my way. And she puts things down and she just starts walking towards the door. Is Azure gonna stop her or let her go and try to whack Johnny?
I think you've convinced, like, Azure is upset enough to, like, go along with your plan, because nothing they've tried has worked.
Cool. So Chase is gonna go out, and I think that, like, when she initially goes out, all the kids, like, keep doing their things.
God, here's some bird seed!
They're just hungry! And then you just hear this, like this one kid who's up against the window, you just hear this like loud whack on the back of the head, and he just like slams against the window, and all the other kids start running. And I think that's where we'll stop that scene. I'm not going to where it goes from there. Cool.
Wow.
Dang, Chase is violent.
Chase doesn't like I don't know, when like you're barely fitting in and people keep going at you, like I think you'll lash out pretty hard, and so that's with bitter greens.
Oh, so and then it flashes back to like Azure like chopping greens or something.
Oh yeah.
Lovely,
Maybe
lovely.
like because that's what you were preparing for this year, right? It's like the same time of year again.
Yeah.
That's the time Chase like fucked up Johnny. So
And there's no kids outside throwing birdseed.
Yeah, quiet. Like, we can hear the bird song and the crickets and whatever.
Nice and peaceful.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost like sadly peaceful. I think like you'd like a little bit of noise. I'm gonna give that card. I'm gonna give it to Zeal because I want to see that like other perspective on that tradition sometime in the future.
That's cool.
Take it, Zeal.
I'll take it.
Yeah, we see Zeal kind of helping chopping greens too. Oh, it's my turn again.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to also set another scene at Grand's house, and I'm going to find a tradition, which is going to be one picky cat. Maybe it's like a little bit later in the same day, and now the bitter greens are, have been kind of prepared into a salad, and the tea is brewing. It's like a one-room house that has like a loft, which is where the beds are. And or people are just kind of taking a break. I think maybe I'm in the house by myself. I think like Zeal and Leisure have taken a walk outside. And it's pretty hot up in the loft, but I kind of like it. I'm feeling like a little lazy, and so I'm just kind of taking a nap in the bed and just looking up at the ceiling, up at the thatched roof. I think I'm letting my eyes kind of go into the soft focus and starting to see like little shapes and faces and, you know, pictures in the thatch, and just my mind's kind of racing with just like little different stories. I just kind of play a little pretend by myself while I'm up there, and I'm talking to myself a little bit. Like, wow, like if someone was listening, I'd probably be like a little embarrassed. I'm like, wow, that's the biggest fish I've ever seen, and everyone so amazed at the big fish. Everyone's cheering. Oh my god. You know, like
it's like a newscast kind of thing.
Yeah, totally. And then I hear this meow. I'm still kind of like continuing to pretend, and this orange cat that lives with us, whose name is Foxy. She's red. She kind of looks like a fox. That's why I think maybe Zeal named her Foxy when she was a kitten, in like the obvious cat naming tradition of small children. And she climbs up. I think we've got like a little kind of ladder that leads up to the loft, and she kind of goes up like one step at a time. She sort of does this thing where she sort of goes around in a circle up each step of the ladder until she gets up to the top of the loft where I'm lying down. I'm not paying attention to her. I'm just kind of like, we see Vale in bed, and he's kind of has like long, kind of stringy brown hair that doesn't get washed as often as it should be. And I think like the most common dye that we have are these like blue flowers that grow by the riverbank. So a lot of our clothes happen to be blue because that's just like a really easy color to stain things. So I have this kind of like blue, like flax linen shirt and trousers on. And I've got like I'm like holding a little fish doll in my hand that Azure made me when I was a kid. And Foxy just like is continuing to meow. Now I realize, and I'm just ignoring her, and she's meowing more and I'm ignoring her. And now she's like actually on my chest, meowing in my face. I'm like, Foxy, what do you want? And Foxy's just like, meow! And I just start taking this mental inventory of all the things that Foxy could possibly want. I'm like, okay, just a second. And I put down my fish, and Foxy jumps off my chest. I go down the ladder, and I go over to her food bowl, and I look at her food bowl, and her food bowl's full of food. I'm like, did you want food? And she's just like kind of walks past her food bowl, and I turn over to like, she's got this water dish that she drinks out of, and it's also full of water. And I'm like, did you want water? And then I go over to the door, which is like left ajar because she likes to go in and out. And I walk over to the door, and she like runs over to the door, and it's like open. And I'm just like, what? And she just meows at me again. And I realize the door is like closed just a little too much, so she can't get through it without having to kind of squeeze a little bit. And I like push the door open another inch, and she like runs out. And I like just shake my head. Scene.
One picky cat.
One picky cat. I'm going to discard this card. Well, okay, cool. So what happens during debrief is we roll up the scroll. So yeah, we're just going to make a little space for some casual conversation and reflection on the story we've created together. Some suggestions for what to talk about. Moment you enjoyed. Appreciation of another player. A surprise. Something that challenged you. Something you might try differently. An emotion or memory the game evoked. So great. I'll just go first, and then we can just go in turn order. I guess it's me, Zeal, Akira, and then Hakan. And Robert. Sorry, you're Robert. You're not Zeal anymore. Something that I just really enjoy, and I'm really taking away from this session, is how alive all of this world that we've made feels. It feels very much like a family. I feel like I really love this town that we're living in, and I feel like I just really enjoy the unforced pace of things. It's just very pleasant. I'm having like a very pleasant experience. I'm feeling very inspired. And excited to see where the story goes and how things change.
Yeah, I feel really excited to play with you all. I feel like things are going really smoothly, and the like family dynamics are just like jumping out really quickly, and I feel like I'm just like getting to know the characters like really quickly, and just like family drama in general is like really engaging in my brain, you know? So I'm really enjoying sort of like experiencing that, and also like being a child and like exploring like childhood drama and like competitiveness and like, you know, sore feelings about picking flowers. And I want to call out Baby Ross, one of my favorite things in the world, and hoping to see more of that. Okay.
I feel similar to the two of you so far. It's a delight to play with all of you. I like how we are very easily highlighting each other's characters and bringing out points of contention and playing out cool bits of drama. And also all of our characters are beginning to form and shine, so that's really fun and exciting. My headcanon is veering a little Avatar: The Last Airbender. Not gonna lie, we feel like waterbenders. I feel like I wasn't able to fully kind of capture like an adult in this scenario yet, because my scene was kind of about my child. So I feel like I want to bring out more of like my adulting like next time. Somehow, I don't know, like sharing of more like traditions, or like this is what our family thinks about this, that type of thing.
I think the fact that a lot of ours were like when we were younger too, I would like to have get to see culture. Yeah, I'm having lots of fun. I really like how complicated of a dynamic came out very quickly, and it feels like all of the pairs seem important, right? Like a lot of times when we're like, oh, we're going to make relationships with everyone, it can kind of be like, oh, but like maybe there will be like two of them that we actually focus on in the game, and the rest are kind of like sidelines.
Yeah.
And this one, it feels like they all feel important, which is pretty cool. What I've been surprised so far is like you know, I grew up in Turkey, which was not a primary culture for me. Then I came to the United States, which was also not a primary culture to me because I had lived there for 13 years, and I got into a lot of fights. And like my mom tells the story of like when she was called into my kindergarten because I slammed some kid's face in the table because he made fun of my Turkish. It was like one of the like early things that like happens as a child. And so like a lot of that stuff kind of came up for me, which I was surprised that like that came up so quickly. I think that the fact that like Chase was from Cloud Village surprisingly like had a lot, like brought in a lot of baggage with it just at little points.
Yeah.
But yeah, really enjoying everything with you folks, and really liking how like all the relationships feel so distinct but important.